Guru Abhishya Sapurakam, Guru Ganera Shisa Sambhushitam, Chinta Chinta Samastayida Nipunam, Shri Rupa Pantanugam, Govinda Vidam Ujjalam Varthanam, Bhaktiyanavitam Sundaram, Vande Vishwa Gurun Cha, Nivya Bhagavat Premdau Hivij Bradam, Devam Divyatanam Suchandravadanam, Balarka Chelanchitam, Sandranandapuram Sadekavarnam, Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim, Shri Siddhantanidhim Subhaktilasitam Sarasvatanambaram, Vandetam Shubhadam Madekasharanam Nasiswaram Śrīdharam, Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye, Bhata Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagneyo Gauda Sankirtanay, Mayavadatimingilodara Gatanudhritta Jivaniman, Krishna Prem Sudabdigan Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaje, Namo Gaura Kishorai Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye, Gaurang Ripadma Bhangaya Radha Bhavana Shevine, Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam, Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudanadam, Gaura Prajashita Sheshaira Vaishnavaira Vanda Vigraham, Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdham Madda Vaishnavam, Mancha Kalpataru Bharscho Kripa Sindhu Heyocha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam, Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam, Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauda Tusay Nama. Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the exalted Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math worldwide. Hardik Namaskar to all our friends and well-wishers. Welcome to our Friday evening online Sangha. I have Shripad Arun Krishna Prabhu with us. Dandat Pranam and welcome.
Dandat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, we're broadcasting on the orders of our guardian here in Sokalpuri, Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Mahārāj. And we are reading from the Golden Volcano of Divine Love by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakṣhak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj. So we will pick up from where we left off last session.
Right.
Arun Prabhu, this is page 146, the Supreme Goal of Life.
Yeah.
And
That's the book.
hold on one second. Let me put you on. There we go. Okay. So Arun Prabhu is holding the book for everyone's convenience. That's the publication. And last time we had covered in the illumination of the first verse of the Śikṣāṣṭakam, the first two strides that take place. So the holy name of Krishna cleanses the mirror of the heart. So that's the first step. And then extinguishes the fire of misery in the forest of birth and death. So that was the step number 2 that we discussed. And so with these 2 steps, the Nam Sankirtan then goes on to the supreme goal of life. So those 2 effects are actually side effects, as we talked about last time. So now I'm going to read from the supreme goal of life. This is Param Guru Mahārāj. The next stage is Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. The holy name bestows upon us the supreme goal of life. After doing away with these 2 negative engagements, so our positive engagement begins and ultimately takes us to reality, to the real truth, which is eternal, auspicious, and beautiful. It takes us to that auspiciousness which is above this world of difficulty, and in a general way we achieve the supreme goal, the highest auspiciousness, the greatest good from chanting the holy name of Krishna. If we analyze this scrutinizingly, we find that in this stage the holy name takes us to an intimate personal relationship with Krishna, which includes neutrality, servitude, friendship, and filial affection, Shanta Dasya Sakyan Vatsalya. Shreya covers the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, for it is by his grace that we may be allowed to worship Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Nityayar Karuna Have Braje Radha Krishna Pave. The next stage is Vidyavadhu Jivanam. The holy name prepares us for the wholesale surrender to Krishna that is found in conjugal love. Madhura Ras, where the devotees surrender themselves infinitely at the disposal of Krishna. The next stage is Anandam Buddhivardhanam. When we come to the proper level while chanting the name of Krishna, we find the transcendental ocean that is above all sorts of experience. The name comes to assert himself over us according to the degree of our surrender. And when our surrender is complete, we feel a new type of ecstatic joy. We experience an infinite ocean of joy which is not static but always dynamic. There we find new life and a new type of blissfulness. It never becomes stale or static, but at every moment gives us a taste of the infinite ocean of ecstasy. A pause here. So notice how Param Guru Mahārāj here says, and when our surrender is complete, we feel a new type of ecstatic joy. So when our surrender is complete, then the complete subjectivity, super subjectivity takes control. So there is a reversal. So in effect, we're making effort. Like now, present stage, we make an effort to pick up our beads, and we have some discipline. We're chanting from such and such time to such and such time, so many rounds and like that. So at this stage, a reversal happens. So the holy name takes control. The super subject takes control of the relative subjectivity of the soul. So we are at his disposal now. Fully surrendered. Not there yet, but that's what happens. And next, complete self-purification. The last effect is that our entire existence is purified. This kind of enjoyment does not pollute. It purifies. So, there is enjoyment. But in the purified stage, where we are completely in control of the holy name, in that enjoyment, there is no dirt. Back to Param Guru Maharaj. Enjoyment means exploitation. Mundane enjoyment creates a reaction and pollution attacks the enjoyer. But here, because Krishna is the aggressor, the result is purification. All enjoyment that comes from the center, from the autocratic desire of Krishna, purifies us completely. In this verse, the words Sarvatma Snapanam mean that all different phases of the self which may be conceived are fully satisfied and purified at once by chanting the holy name of Krishna. And there is another meaning of Sarvatma Snapanam. If we praise Krishna congregationally, we will be purified according to our capacity. Both the singer and the audience, as well as anyone who comes in connection with the transcendental sound, will be purified. Snapanam means purifying. That vibration purifies everyone and everything that comes in touch with it. So Mahāprabhu says, go on with Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Of course, Sankirtan must be genuine. So association with saints is necessary. It is not an empirical attempt. We are attempting to have a connection with the higher unconditioned realm which can descend to help us here. We must have that connection with higher reality, for that is all important. The holy name of Krishna is not mere physical sound. It is not lip deep only, but it has a greater and higher aspect. Namakshara Bahiraya Bate Tabu Name Kabunaya. It is all spiritual. We are in the marginal plane of existence, so some higher connection is necessary in order that the wave will descend from that higher realm and come to us and spread its influence outside as well. Wherever it goes, the Sankirtan of the holy name of Krishna will produce these sevenfold results. This is the purport of Mahaprabhu's first verse. The first effect is that the holy name cleanses the soul, which is attacked by the dirt of desires from the mundane world. By the second effect, it gives mukti, liberation. Perfect independence from material forces. The third effect brings real fortune, the opening of the soul's treasure. The innate resources of the soul are gradually awakened by the holy name of Krishna. Here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu includes the other forms of relationship with the personal absolute, meaning Santadasya Sakya Vatsalya. In describing the next step, he takes the mood of conjugal devotion, where one is absolutely disposed for Krishna's enjoyment, unconditionally surrendering everything for his maximum pleasure. The next section reads, I need millions of mouths. The next effect is the tasting of his ecstatic association. In Vrindavan, the realm of Krishna, one who can chant the name of Krishna properly will express himself with a peculiar sort of ego. Tunde tandavani vitanute tundavali labde karna krod kadambini ghataite karnad budhe spram cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita kiyadbhir amrita krishna iti varnadai. When the holy name of Krishna appears on the lips of a devotee, it begins madly dancing. Then the name takes over and handles him as if the person to whom the lips belong loses all control over his lips. And the devotee says with one mouth, how much can I gather the ecstasy of the holy name? I need millions of mouths to taste its unlimited sweetness. I'll never feel any satisfaction by chanting with only one mouth. When the sound Krishna enters the ear, he feels that transcendental sound awaken in his heart. What are 2 years? He thinks. This is the greatest injustice of the Creator. I need millions of years. Then if I could hear the sweet name of Krishna, my heart might be a little satisfied. I want millions and millions of years to hear the sweet name of Krishna. This is the temperament of a devotee when his attention is drawn towards the holy name. Then he faints. He loses himself, merging in an ocean of ecstasy and joy. And in great disappointment he says, I fail to understand the quality and quantity of the substance of Krishna's name. I am perplexed. What sort of honey sweetness does this name contain? In this way, the chanter of the name wonders.
Prabhuji, this to me is very adbhut. ऐसा कभी भाग्य नहीं हुआ कि अपने पेरेंट्स या किसी और से कभी सुना हो ऐसा. ये सुनने के लिए नहीं, जाना हो ऐसा. गुरुदेव तो हमें ज्ञात करवा रहे हैं, सुना नहीं रहे हैं.
Hare Krishna. Go Hari Bo. Okay, Krishna's mystic flute song. This has been taught to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, who said, properly chant the holy name, the sound representation of absolute sweetness. That sweetness is also to be found in the flute song of the Lord. The sound of Krishna's flute has the great mystic power of capturing and pleasing everyone and everything. Upon hearing the sound of Krishna's flute, the Yamuna's current is paralyzed. The sweet sound of Krishna's flute attracts the trees, the birds, and the beasts. Everything is astounded by contacting the sweet vibration from Krishna's flute. Sound vibration can work miracles. Sound has the highest capturing potency. Sound can make or mar. It can do anything. It has such intrinsic capacity. It comes from the subtlemost plane, beyond the ether. That universal sound is absolute sweetness and goodness. How much power is there? How it can capture us. Like a blade of grass, we may be played by the current of that sweet sound in such a way that we cannot even trace out our own personality. We may lose ourselves there, but we do not die. The soul is eternal. Diving up and down, we are played by the current of the sweet sound. We are less qualified than a straw, a blade of grass, and the Krishna sound is so big and so sweet that it can play us in any way it likes. Complete autocracy, total dominion, yet sweet. We cannot begin to conceive how much power is in the name, the sound which is identical with absolute goodness and sweetness. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu says, don't neglect the sound which is one and the same with Krishna. Absolute sweetness and goodness, everything is there within the holy name. And the holy name is representing itself to us in a very cheap way. Nothing is required to purchase it. No money, no physical energy. All these things are unnecessary. What is required? Sincerity. Meaning, I want it. I really want it. Back to Param Guru Mahārāj. One who simply takes this divine sound sincerely will be so enriched that no one will be able to conceive of so much goodness and development. And anyone may have it very cheaply, but one must chant sincerely with his whole heart. Of course, wholehearted sincerity presupposes going to a proper agent, a saint, and getting the holy name from him. Sri Krishna Sankirtan is praised by Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, the inaugurator of the Sankirtan movement, who came as Radha Govinda combined. His advice is most valuable and necessary to tell us that with a sincere spirit we must come to join the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, the most purifying transcendental sound, which effects liberation, gives all fulfillment, and grants us such a positive attainment that we lose ourselves in the ocean of joy and inconceivable sweetness. This is Sriman Mahaprabhu's grace, and he proclaims, let Sri Krishna Sankirtan be expanded into this mortal world, that it may benefit everyone infinitely, for this is the highest and greatest benefit for the whole world. It is all comprehensive. It releases us from all sorts of troubles, establishing us in the highest position of attainment. And in this present degraded age of Kali, only Nam Sankirtan can help us. Of course, Nam Sankirtan is beneficial in all ages, but it is especially recommended in Kali Yuga, because in this age all other attempts will be opposed by many forces. Nam Sankirtan cannot be opposed by the troubles and waves of this material world. So one must adopt it. If we exclusively give ourselves to this, we will gain the highest fulfillment of life. There is no necessity of any other campaign, for they are all defective and partial. But the most universal, captivating and beneficial thing is Nam Sankirtan, which takes us to the highest goal that alone can satisfy everyone. All souls that are now disconnected from Krishna may be helped in this way. No other movement is necessary. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells us, exclusively devote yourself to this. It is all embracing and all fulfilling, and you can achieve it with the least trouble and least energy. Let it flourish in this Kali Yuga. Let it flourish for the welfare of the whole universe, to re-establish all souls in their normal position.
Guruji, there is nowhere else that I have read or heard which talks about what is the normal position of soul. Everybody is just covered by so many layers of desire and totally forgetting, there is, or the true nature of soul. And then even if they know, they don't understand what is the normal position, right? It's, to them it's always relativist, relatively, comparatively.
Yeah. It says Sarvatma Snapanam. All aspects of the self are fully satisfied. One may exist on the sensual plane, one may exist on the mental plane. Indriyanya parana hurindriya paramana manasastha para buddhe. Higher plane of pure consciousness. Any plane that one may exist on, all completely satisfied. For the highest good of everyone and everything. It's inconceivable. How can there some such movement exist? Only by the mercy of Sriman Mahāprabhu. So it has the highest interest of everything, every unit of existence. That is how universally good this is. Nam Sankirtan. And it is manifesting as the most potent and peaceful spiritual activism known to mankind. Is it not?
Yes.
People go for causes. People try to give themselves to different causes. Cause for the country, cause for the society, cause for, some other things, partial things. Here, we are working for the cause of all causes. Well, because of that, you remember he mentioned that nothing can stand in opposition. And ostensibly, if anything does, then it is nothing but baleful, violent pacifism, nothing else. Nothing can stand in opposition of Nam Sankirtan. That is the beauty and the potency of Nam Sankirtan. So when we perform it, all the supporting groups, not just the performance of Sankirtan, but everyone included, they are working for the highest good of every unit of existence. We are being active. Activism is being active, peaceful activism. We are telling people to wake up to your highest fulfillment, to the highest reality. Pacifism is putting people to dreamless sleep in no man's land. That is pacifism. This is how Sankirtan is manifesting on this plane, by the mercy of our masters and Guru Gauranga. So we must remember that. I must remember that. What is it? What is my cause? It is the cause of all causes. Nothing can stand against it. Gaur Hari Bol. Back to Param Guru Maharaj. In the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the conclusion of the book is given as follows. Nam Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanas Tam Namami Harim Param. Pap means all anomalies, all undesirable things, sin. Material enjoyment and liberation are also included as anomalies, sinful activities. Why is liberation considered sinful? Because it is an abnormal condition. Our natural function is to serve Krishna, but we do not do that in salvation. Achha, Dhanyavad. Mere salvation does not include service to Krishna.
I got it. Namaste, Anilji.
Namaskar, Anilji. Welcome.
Hare Krishna sir, sorry, मैं late हो गया.
Better late than never. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Hare Krishna. So pap means all anomalies, all undesirable things. Oh, let me just, Anilji, for your, we are reading here Param Guru Maharaj's, I'll just jog back a little bit to cover the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, you're familiar with Srimad Bhagavatam? About 18,000 verses. And this is the concluding verse that Param Guru Maharaj is giving us over here. Arun Prabhu, can you hear us? Your camera seems to be frozen.
Yeah.
No.
Your camera is frozen, Arun Prabhu.
Okay.
But it's perfectly fine for me, sir.
For
I'm able to...
No, for me, yeah, sometimes it happens, it jams up. Yes,
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Oh, Preeti ji is here. All right. Okay, so in this last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the conclusion of the book is given as follows. And Anilji, so Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a Puran, Bhagavat Puran, but it is actually a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So it is expanding and explaining the conclusions of Vedanta. And of that commentary of 18,000 verses, this verse is the last verse and in conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya sarva papa pranashanam pranama dukkha shamanas tam namami harim param. Pap means all anomalies, all undesirable things, sin. Material enjoyment and liberation are also included as anomalies, sinful activities. Why is liberation considered sinful? Because it is an abnormal condition. Our natural function is to serve Krishna. Again, activity. But we do not do that in salvation. Mere salvation does not include service to Krishna. So that is an abnormal position, and therefore it is also a sin. To ignore our natural duty and stand aloof cannot but be sinful. The spiritual gift of Vyasa. The concluding verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam says, Krishna's holy name can deliver us from all undesirable sinfulness, all filthy characteristics and all miseries. Let us all bow down to him. Uttering this verse, the Srimad Bhagavatam stops. That great treatise becomes silent. The last word in the Bhagavatam is Nam Sankirtan. The Bhagavatam has given such great importance to chanting the holy name of Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu developed it from there. The last publication of the compiler of Vedic literatures, Srila Vyasadeva, took theism to that stage and gave it to the public, announcing, chant the name of Krishna. And what is that stage? Just a quick pause. He took theism into the domain of ecstasy, divine ecstasy, unheard of. So he took it to that domain and then gave it openly to the public. You chant the holy name of Krishna. That is Nam Sankirtan. Oh, Hari Bol. Do this. Nothing more is necessary. Take this. This is the very conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. The greatest spiritual gift of Vyasadeva. Chant the holy name of Krishna and begin your life in this dark age with the most broad and wide theistic conception. This is real liberalism. This is real liberalism. You come under the banner of Srimad Mahaprabhu, one will know what is being liberal. Otherwise not. Yes, Arun Prabhu, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, may I request you to also translate the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the benefit of everybody else. On the last page.
Nam Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. So that after that, Param Guru Mahārāj is giving, we just read that. Pranamo dukkha shamanas tam namami harim param.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. So, because that's what we read. Because it is an abnormal condition, our natural function is to serve Krishna, but we do not do that in salvation. And mere salvation does not include service to Krishna, so that is an abnormal position. Dukkha shamanas means to stop all suffering, end of all suffering, from the root, which is given in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Tapatrayon moolanam. It says the tapatraya. You remember? Adidevik, Adibhautik, Adhyatmik, all are uprooted and they are done away with from the root. So, dukkha shamanas, tam namami harim param. I bow down unconditionally at your lotus feet. That Sri Hari.
And Harim Param, I mean, I'm just thinking
Shri
of
Hari.
other Indic people. No confusion here.
Param.
Is being Param.
And Nam Sankirtan named as such. So it is 110% authorized. Tam namami Harim Param. Yes, Arun. Yes, please go ahead. Anilji.
So, whatever I keep on listening, right, since my childhood. So this last shloka is turning that upside down. So, moksha, right? Moksha is not paramgati, right? It is just the, let's say, increment stage, right?
Hare
From whatever we are right now. That's what it is showing. So that means that whole cycle of liberation from the birth and death is just above this material plane. It's definitely above, but it is not the ultimate, right? Ultimate thing is to serve and be in that Gokul Dham, right?
Jai. Jai. Anilji ki jai. Naam Sankirtan ki jai.
Is the correct summary?
Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfectly said. That intermediate stage we have to surpass. No need to go there separately. When you chant the name of the Lord, when you perform Nam Sankirtan, those are side effects.
And Anilji, at least when I was growing up in Prayagraj and all, in Bharatvarsh, I mean everybody, every Pandit who would do any puja, all our uncles and so on, maybe I was not a good listener, but I mean, the mantra that was given is liberation, mukti, mukti, right? And it is so incomplete. Yes, it is positive progress, but incomplete. It's simply an intermediate step.
So, Srila Rupa Goswāmī, just you reminded me of that. It says, Srila Rupa Goswāmī says, what is it? Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha Laguta Krit Sudurlabha Sandrananda Visheshatma Shri Krishna Karshani Chasa. This is bhakti, this is the power of bhakti, of performing Sankirtan and engaging in bhakti. This is what actually happened. Moksha Laguta Krit. Lagu mane is
Tiny.
tiny. Moksha Laguta Krit Sudurlabha. What is moksha? What moksha? We just again summarized. Actually, that is violence and pacifism. We just summarized. To trying to put someone forcefully into dreamless sleep, make them comatose in some no man's land, amounts to violence, baleful violence. It is completely pacifism of a violent type. We are the ones who are engaging in the most potent and peaceful spiritual activism. We are awake, trying to get people to awaken, not put them to sleep. But the perception is upside down. Like Anilji said, now he sees it the right side up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it like that. Because if you see it from the other side, perception will be that, oh, we are breeding pacifists. They do nothing. They become useless to society, as if the society is engaged in, some bona fide and authorized activities. Yes, Anilji, please go ahead.
So one more thing, I think this is my minimal understanding maybe. So I think what I'm thinking is that because if you initially there was a conception that the soul is basically it's a part of that Paramatma, right? Okay, so what maybe because of that misconception, this led to this conception that okay, your ultimate aim should be to merge into that infinite, right? So that is what was salvation or moksha, right? But in Bhagavad Gita, there was one slok which I remember. It says that where Sri Bhagavan is saying that it's not that it's just a very small. You are not me, right? Me and you are not same. It's basically you are just a very minute piece of me, right, or my energy, right? So maybe if that because that conception that okay, Atma and Paramatma are same, and that's why it is going for a salvation is the ultimate thing. But if you reconnect that Gita slok which says that you are just mamanj, right? It's not that something which is you are me, right, or me or I'm you, right? It's the different things. So maybe that what it leads to misconception, and that's what this Bhagavad last slok is clarifying.
Absolutely, and anyone who tells you that merge the Atma into the Paramatma, that kind of a proposition, simply ask them, sir, can you show me where? That's all. They may say fancy stuff. That's okay. And you can nod your head. There's no need for any confrontation, but go, can you please open the verse and show me? That's it. Because there is none.
Yes, sir. And not only that, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna clearly indicates in this Jivatma, and so that it can live in this environment, there is empowerment given by Paramatma. Paramatma is not a subset, is not a superset of Atma. It is simply an umbrella that provides the empowerment for Jivatma.
Paramatma is updrishta anumanta. Two functions. Passive, he's not there to be your driver, be my driver or anything. He is updrishta and anumanta. He's the witness and the sanctioner. That's it.
And so it's very, very clear that the Atma never merges into Paramatma. There's no such thing. In fact, it's very, very clear. Two different things. And then it talks about evolution of the Atma, towards greater purity, and how there's at one point then, it is totally subservient to its true cause, and there is no.
And even Atma is given that there are two within Jiva, the Tatastha, the marginal Shakti, there are two kinds, two levels. Dvau vimau purusha loke Śikṣāṣṭakam evacha Chara sarvani bhutani kūtasthauk charochate. Dvau vimau purusha loke Śikṣāṣṭakam evacha Chara sarvani bhutani kūtasthauk charochate. Within, so this is gradation within the marginal potency. He's explaining that there are two kinds. One is like all the conditioned people, the fallen souls like us, like me, and then there are the ones that are situated kūtastho aksharochate in their constitutional position as servitors of the center. They are connected with the master consciousness. Their descent into this world is not due to their karma. They are not bound by any ropes. They are free, and it is the cause of the center that they come down here to fulfill. Unlike myself, I am bound by karma, in birth and death, and I am here. So those are the two kinds of souls. Then he says, Uttam Purushastva Anya. Then he makes this distinction that there is this third principle, Uttam Purusha, as Paramatma, Vibhartyabhya Ishvara, and he is the sustainer of this entire universe, all universes. And so he has explained the three distinct principles right here. Actually, two principles and gradation, and a gradation of one of them, which is Jiva. So he's explained two levels of Jiva and Uttam Purush as completely distinct. Now, someone can come, you can tell this to someone and say, counter this, show me the proof. How are they all one? Show me. Simple? What do you say, Anilji? Is it fair?
Yes, sir.
So there you go. Like that, we go. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Go. Should we go to the next? Actually, you know what? I was thinking, oh, sorry.
Time check.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any rights to say that because I was the last person to join this meeting, but I was just saying that.
No problem, but you enliven our meetings in Sangha, and you're a regular, so I really appreciate you, and I know Arun Prabhu is, of course, he appreciates you a lot. And please never bother about like you're being late. Just please come. And you're helping me purify myself. I'm not trying to do anything or preach to you. I don't have the adhikar. I'm simply, by your help, I'm talking to myself, and I'm trying to see how I can purify myself. Okay, so I'll just make a mark here, and then we can do Hari Harai. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back. Arun Prabhu.
Yeah.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Bhaja Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hariharaya Namah Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Ichhai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Shai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Jaha hoite Vignana Shabishta Puran.
Jaha hoite Vignana Shabishta Puran.
Ichhai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas.
Shai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas.
Tasavara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Tasavara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Tandera Charana Sevi Bhaktasane Bas.
Tadera Charane Sevi Bhaktasane Bas.
Janame Mora Avilash.
Janame Mora Abhilash.
Ichhai Gosai Jabe Braja Koila Bas.
Shai Gosai Jabe Braja Koila Bas.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kahe Narottama Das.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Right. Okay, Anika ji, please continue.
Jai Saprika Shri Shri Guru Granth Gandhavar Govind Sundar Gi Dhar Gopi Laju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Patamaksha Parvatchakara Varyasta Sati Sati Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Patamaksha Parvatchakara Varyasta Sati Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakṣhak Shri Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai.
Joy.
Jai Om Vishnu Patamaksha Parvatchakara Varyasta Sati Shri Srimad Bhakti Snata Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Gotra Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Joy.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Chachi Nand Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Jai Om Vishnu Pad Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Rupanuga Guru Ki Jai.
Joy.
Amachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Baladeva Vidyabhushan Ki Jai.
Joy.
Srila Vishwanath Thakur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Srila Narottama Shyamnanda Srinivasacharya Prabhu Ki Jai.
Joy.
Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai.
Joy.
Saprasad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai.
Joy.
Saprasad Shri Mahāprabhu Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Lakshmi Vardeva Ki Jai.
Joy.
Sudha Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Shri Nrsimha Deva Ki Jai.
Joy.
Bhakta Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai.
Joy.
Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai.
Joy.
Ganga Jamna Ji Ki Jai.
Joy.
Pranta Raja Shri Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai.
Joy.
Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha Ki Jai.
Joy.
Akrat Mat Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai.
Joy.
Tadisaka Mat Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai.
Joy.
Vishpa Papita Disaka Mat Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Damaipur Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Damnabradeep Ki Jai.
Joy.
Vrindavan Purtatam Dan Ki Jai.
Joy.
Baladeva Subhadra Jagannath Ji Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Kunda Ki Jai.
Joy.
Shri Shiva Ganga Ji Ki Jai.
Joy.
Samveta Vaishnava Mandal Ki Jai.
Joy.
Samveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai.
Joy.
Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Joy.
Nitya Gopnande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shyanika ji, Preeti ji, Vikram ji and family ki jai. Our divine panelist Shripad Arun Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Our divine guest Shri Anil ji ki jai. Jai. Our Facebook participants ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakṣhak Śrīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
श्रील भक्ति निर्मला आचार्य महाराज की जय। जयंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सपार्षद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। All the assembled devotees की जय। नित्याय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
श्रीपद जयराम प्रभु की जय। दीदी की जय। भवानी का दीदी की जय। न प्रभु की जय।
हरे कृष्ण।